Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the explosive developments coming to Port Charles the 3rd of February 2026. The drama is heating up across multiple storylines, and viewers are in for some shocking revelations, dangerous games, and emotional confrontations that will leave everyone on the edge of their seats. Marco Rios and Lucas Jones face relationship crisis at Windermere. The romantic partnership between Marco Rios and Lucas Jones has been progressing smoothly on the surface, but cracks are beginning to show in their relationship foundation. Currently residing together at the Gothic Windermere estate, the couple seem to have found their perfect sanctuary away from the chaos of Port Charles. However, as any General Hospital fan knows, peace never lasts long in this town, and complications were inevitable from the start. The trouble began when Lucas inadvertently overheard a conversation that wasn't meant for his ears. Marco was engaged in what appeared to be a private discussion with Britt Westbourne, the sharp-witted doctor who has her own complicated history in Port Charles. The content of this conversation clearly raised red flags for Lucas, triggering concerns about what his boyfriend might be hiding. Unable to shake his suspicions, Lucas took matters into his own hands and went directly to Jen Sidwell, seeking answers or perhaps validation for his growing worries. In an attempt to address the situation and create some distance from whatever is happening at Windermere, Lucas will propose a significant step forward in their relationship. He suggests to Marco that they find their own apartment, a place where they can build their life together without the shadow of Windermere's walls and whatever secrets they might hold. It's a reasonable proposal from someone who wants both independence and transparency in their relationship. However, Marco's reaction won't be what Lucas hopes for. Rather than embracing the idea of moving forward together, the lawyer will decline the offer, and more concerning still, he'll come armed with a cover story to explain his reluctance. This calculated response will only deepen Lucas's suspicions. After all, when your partner needs a prepared excuse rather than an honest conversation, it's a clear sign that something is being hidden. Lucas, who has been through enough deception and heartbreak in his life, will recognize the signs of evasion. The question now becomes, what exactly is Marco involved in, and how will these secrets impact their relationship moving forward? Jocelyn Jacks continues her dangerous dance with disaster. Meanwhile, at the same Windermere location, Jocelyn Jacks is playing a risky game that could have serious consequences. The young woman has been making increasingly dangerous moves, operating under the assumption that her clever cover story, something involving a novel she's supposedly writing, will keep suspicions at bay. Jocelyn has always been confident in her ability to think on her feet and talk her way out of tight situations, a skill she's honed over years of living in Port Charles. However, this time, Jocelyn may be underestimating the intelligence of those around her. The people in her orbit aren't as easily fooled as she believes, and her confidence could prove to be her downfall. Whether she's investigating something she shouldn't be covering for someone else's misdeeds or involved in her own scheme, the walls are starting to close in. The novel excuse might work once or twice, but eventually people will start asking harder questions and demanding real answers. Adding to the tension, Britt Westbourne will stumble upon something truly disturbing during this week's episodes. Given Britt's medical background and sharp observational skills, whatever she discovers is likely significant enough to shift the entire dynamic at Windermere. This discovery could be related to Jocelyn's activities, Marco's secrets, or an entirely separate matter altogether. Either way, Britt finding out means that more people are becoming aware of the dangerous undercurrents flowing through the estate. And secrets have a way of spreading quickly in Port Charles, especially when someone as direct as Britt is involved. Willow Tight Kane prepares her strategic counterattack. In another corner of Port Charles Willow, Tate Kane is preparing to make some calculated moves of her own. The General Hospital spoilers for the week of February 2 indicate that Willow will spend time carefully strategizing her next steps. This isn't a woman acting on impulse or emotion alone, she's planning something specific, something that requires careful consideration of all the pieces on the board. By later in the week, those plans will come to fruition, when Willow executes what can only be described as a dirty move. This suggests she's willing to play hardball, potentially using tactics that might surprise those who see her as the sweet, accommodating person she's often portrayed as. When pushed into a corner, Willow has shown she's capable of fighting back with unexpected ferocity, and it appears that time has come once again. The situation becomes even more intriguing when we learn that someone approaches Michael Corinthos about reaching a compromise. Compromise discussions typically happen when two parties are at an impasse. suggesting that whatever conflict is brewing has reached a critical point where mediation seems necessary. However, Michael's response reveals his stubborn streak and his unwillingness to bend. He makes it clear that presumably Willow can come to him herself if she wants to negotiate. This refusal to engage through intermediaries shows that Michael is drawing a hard line, demanding direct communication rather than accepting messages delivered through third parties. The identity of this mediator is particularly interesting to speculate about. Harrison Chase represents one strong possibility, given his close relationship with both Michael and Willow and his natural inclination toward peacekeeping. As someone who cares deeply about both parties and understands the complexities of their situation, Chase would make a logical choice for attempting to broker peace. Alternatively, Alexis Davis could be stepping into this role. As a lawyer, mediator, and someone with her own complicated family dynamics, Alexis has both the skills and the motivation to help resolve conflicts before they spiral further out of control. Her relationship with both families could give her unique insight into what's really driving this conflict beneath the surface arguments. The urgent search for Anna Devane intensifies. One of the most pressing storylines this week involves the mysterious circumstances surrounding Anna Devane. Emma Scorpio Drake, Anna's beloved granddaughter, receives a phone call that will prove to be incredibly important. Given Emma's strong bond with her grandmother and her own experiences with danger and intrigue, this call likely contains information about Anna's whereabouts or condition that demands immediate action. A revealing preview clip shows Emma in the company of Giovanni Gio Palmieri and Brooke Lynn Quartermain. The urgency in the scene is palpable when BLQ declares that they need to find her. While the pronoun could technically refer to anyone, the context strongly suggests they're talking about Anna. This indicates that Anna is either missing in danger or has deliberately removed herself from Port Charles for reasons yet to be revealed. The composition of this search party is interesting in itself. Emma's involvement makes perfect sense given her family connection, but Gio and Brooke Lynn's inclusion suggests that whatever situation Anna has found herself in touches multiple corners of the Port Charles community. Brooke Lynn's presence particularly indicates that the Quartermain family may have some stake in Anna's situation, or perhaps BLQ is simply helping out of friendship and concern. Gio's involvement raises even more questions about how he's become entangled in Anna's disappearance, and what role he might play in bringing her home safely. Strategic sessions, direct concerns, and complicated hearts. The ripple effects of these major storylines touch many other Port Charles residents in significant ways. Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan, the town's most formidable partnership, will convene for a strategy session. These two have weathered countless storms together, and when they put their heads together, it usually means serious business is afoot. Whether they're planning a business move, a defensive strategy, or an offensive strike against those threatening their family and interests, their combined experience and resources make them a force to be reckoned with. Diane Miller, meanwhile, isn't hiding her concerns about something brewing in Port Charles. The brilliant attorney is known for her direct communication style and her refusal to sugarcoat difficult truths. When Diane expresses worry, people should listen, because she has an uncanny ability to see legal and personal disasters forming before they fully materialize. Her forthright discussion of her concerns suggests that she's trying to warn someone about consequences they might not be fully considering. Nathan West finds himself navigating the complicated terrain of his heart, and he chooses to confide in Nina Reeves about his romantic struggles. This conversation is particularly significant given Nina's own history of complicated relationships and her capacity for both empathy and interference. Whatever romantic complication Nathan is experiencing has left him confused enough to seek guidance, suggesting genuine emotional turmoil rather than a simple decision between two options. Lulu Spencer, meanwhile, opens up to her mother, Laura Collins, about the Nathan and Maxie Jones situation. This mother-daughter conversation indicates that Lulu has concerns or observations about this romantic triangle that she needs to process with. Someone who understands both the people involved and the larger context of Port Charles relationships. Laura's wisdom and experience make her an ideal sounding board for these concerns. Elsewhere in Port Charles, Christina Corinthos Davis and Jacinda Breckel reconnect, suggesting that a friendship or relationship that had been dormant is being revived. Elizabeth Liz Baldwin will prove her worth once again when she successfully diffuses a tense situation, using her natural empathy and problem-solving skills to prevent a conflict from escalating into something more dangerous. Finally, Dante Falconeri will demonstrate his characteristic persistence by insisting on something with unwavering determination, refusing to let the matter drop regardless of any resistance he encounters.